All right, and welcome back once again to another episode of Western Kabuki. Once again being joined by Ed. Going to the guest first. How we doing, Ed?
I'm good. I worked out, finished work, feeling limber, but also broken.
Nice. Are you still?
I'm in pain.
Are you still out of town?
No, I'm home in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada right now.
Let's go.
That's right. That's where all hail the orb.
I did miss seeing Ed, unfortunately, with my 10-hour layover in Vegas. I missed seeing Caleb because our schedules could not match up while I was in Washington State. I'm sorry to say.
That's on me, my bad.
These things happen. How you been, Caleb?
Hanging in, man.
That's good. Juniper, you were saying before the recording that there's that you think
let's start that.
Cybersmith is right? Is he's good? He's a good guy?
It is, yeah. Yeah, no, he's lovely fella.
So Juniper, have they ended wokeness yet? Or where's the
wokeness?
Where are we in the controversy?
We're we're ending wokeness. We're going to be voting on wokeness. Each state has a vote coming up next election. We're gonna show how much support wokeness has. Maybe we'll end wokeness. Yeah,
Inshallah.
No, yeah,
by voting.
I'm so glad I don't live in England for many reasons, but 90% of the newspaper there appears to be some guy called it'll be some woman called Crescenda Smulge or something, and the article will be like, woke and the trans agenda is why energy bills are high, and it will be 1,000 words and the single most debated article in Britain for the entire day.
It's crazy. Like I think I saw one a couple of days ago. It might even be what you are referencing, sort of that Daily Mail article that was like
even referencing a specific one. That's amazing.
Yeah, 2 days ago there was one that was published, like an article in the Daily Mail, which, if I understand correctly, is like one of the UK's biggest publications, right?
It's like the New York Post. It makes the New York Post look left leaning.
Yeah, and also they just lie, like flagrantly lie a lot.
Well, no, I don't know if they lie, because actually libel laws in England are extremely powerful. But what they do is they find the least kind angle on anything they can.
And that's what they did here. This one is titled, "More than a third of Brits do not know transgender women are biologically male." It's like that framing on that poll is just insane.
That is great as well, because there's, as you're probably suggesting, there is also another way to read it where it's like, most British people do. But also, it's really weird because transgender people have been around a while, as we all know. But also, there were disgraceful jokes in the 90s about trans people, as I'm sure you all know. But for the most part, it's just been something that was fucking accepted since I was like a kid.
And in the UK, definitely seems like it's having more of like a hysteria, like somehow more than America. But like, it's not like
it's really fucking hate trans people on that island. I don't know what's up.
Well, we hate think that. Well, British people, there's a weird thing with trans people, because you get people who are seemingly intelligent who say things like, "Look, I support trans people, but," and then they say something about not supporting trans people, and it's disgraceful because it's like, "Yeah, well, some young child is blah, blah, blah," and it's like. So your anecdotal example that you've made up in your head. Well, yeah, so I got a Google one the other day, and it said this one woman. And it's like, yeah, you don't give a fuck about this. You're just like, you don't like the idea of trans people. Because the answer there is, okay, so there is some edge case you found. Congratulations. Can I name you the amount of incredibly happy trans people there are?
Yeah, it's bizarre how much like this is wormed into so many people, not even just in the UK, and just like in general, people's brains. Just like this, there was like I forget which, it might have been the New York Post like a week ago now too, where it was like, oh, this trans woman murdered 2 other trans women because she was jealous of their beauty or something like that. And then you look in the article, And this was like a recently published article, but the case it was referring to was like 33 years ago. And it's like, they're this desperate. Yeah. It's like, Jesus, like you can't even pretend that it's anything but
many
hysteria.
Straight cisgender people fucking kill each other all the time?
Yeah. All the time. I mean, all the
similar
time.
circumstances.
Yeah.
Like, just look at the state of Florida.
I mean, there's the Florida man stereotype for a reason. I mean, everyone remembers all of those insane stories of like Florida man bites off someone's face.
It's Florida man, not Florida person.
Yeah.
But no, I do just enjoy, like, with this recent Ohio like mini election that happened. It's like all of these Republicans are like, oh, this is the yeah, this is the trans rights is like the trans rights and abortion issues are like what people are going to come out for and vote for the Republicans. Like we have a mandate in the country. And then in fucking Ohio, one of the most like brain dead states, like sorry to Ohioans, but like people there are a little crazy.
Honestly.
Yeah, I think they get it.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know the total vote, but like the initial round, like, so it was basically like voting no in this issue was like the pro-choice, pro-trans position, and like voting yes was like the pro-life, anti-trans position. And it was a blowout.
I have not read about it. I saw the articles going around about this. In which way were trans issues and abortion issues related? I didn't understand. I guess I should probably have Googled it, but
yeah. So from what I understand, it was basically allowing the state to kind of like basically not let legislatures pass like laws allowing, like, I think what it was trying to do specifically was to disallow a movement that was trying to get a state constitutional amendment for allowing abortions. Because I think if I remember correctly, the governor made abortions in Ohio illegal. I mean, of course, with Roe v. Wade being gone, but like Ohio's clamped down even harder, and there was like a pretty big movement, obviously, because this measure failed. The right wing measure failed in Ohio. But yeah, it was basically
it's okay
like,
if you don't know the details, because I can
don't
already hear the keyboards around the country of our listeners emailing us to tell us what we got wrong.
Yeah, no, I'm sure I got something wrong there. I just found out about the election yesterday, like when it happened. So like I did not have time to to research everything.
I did have a question, Ed, before we get going into the episode, because we're just kind of chatting. It made me think, how available and common is Bud Light in the UK? What's the Bud Light situation like out there?
I wouldn't know, because I was never a beer drinker when I was younger. I would say I've never seen it somewhere. I'm sure you can find it, but I don't think it's like it might even be considered like an imported beer in England. I mean, literally it is, but it might be considered like an exotic thing I actually think there's nothing funnier than the idea of a British guy sitting down to watch the one baseball game they're going to do in England.
Yeah, the World Baseball
and he's like,
Championship.
"Oh, I got in a special American beer. I got natural ice and Budweiser Light."
I just think it would be very funny if, because you know, the gun laws are very different there, but like a bunch of like British people with like a 1927 elephant gun shooting Bud Light boxes or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No more Carlsberg.
We're not hunting foxes, we're hunting Bud Lights today.
Here's something weird for me though. Like Stella Artois is a nicer beer here. Mm-hmm. But in England, I remember growing up, it was considered like shit. But to be fair, England can't really go around telling you what good beer is.
I mean, England makes better beer than Italy or Spain. I mean, those Mediterranean beers are dog
I don't know.
shit.
I don't even like this. So perhaps I'm not fair. Not a fair arbiter.
I've had a couple of good English beers before, but
yeah.
Listen, I've had a few beers tonight. I think I know.
One thing I find fascinating specifically about the like anti-trans hysteria in the UK is there's obviously a lot of like TERF, like specifically TERFs that like will gather and have like turf events. And one of the funniest phenomena I've seen is they'll post like lunch gathering with my fellow turfs, and it's like they blur out the entire restaurant. Like it's like they make it so you can't figure out where they're at.
They look like they're in an Apple store in like 2007.
No assassination coordinates. It's a smart move.
It's even funnier when people still figure it out. They're like, oh, I know where you're at because I see like a piece of a chair that you forgot to take out.
You've got like Michael Hudson geoguessering them. And they're like,
you can't do that kind of stuff because then it just makes it a fun challenge. You know what I mean? Because already while you were still saying that sentence, I was thinking like, here's how I would find them.
Yeah, it's like those things you do where you put a treat or some peanut butter inside a Kong for a dog. You know it's in there. I'm just gotta get it the fuck out.
I will find you. Yeah, that
and it's gonna be yummy.
It's not about the peanut butter. It's about completing the task. We don't care who you are or where you are.
It truly is. It was who was it? Somebody posted that famous picture of the guys watching football getting their dick sucked by their wives or whatever.
Yeah.
And like,
famous picture.
Yeah, that famous. I mean, you might know it if you saw it because it's gone viral on Twitter a million times.
Do you not know the picture, Ed?
You've definitely seen
it. I have now seen it, thanks, because I saw Bird post.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. It took me 7 minutes to find out exactly what game they were watching. I posted the frame from that game, and I found where that house was in 7 minutes. So like,
holy shit.
Transphobes, like if you're gonna you can't do it. You're just making it a challenge. That's it. That's all.
CSI blowjob NFL.
The photographer who took that picture ended up in the comments, and I was like, did this take place in Des Moines, Iowa? And she's like, how did you fucking know that? Don't worry about it.
But wait, I would love to know I would actually 50% never want to hear about this again for the rest of my life. 50%. Was this a professional shoot? Was this something that was to be
it was a swingers party.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, the woman, if I remember correctly, wrote a book about it too.
She
like
did.
There was like a lot about this event.
Yeah, I've got a copy of the book. I meant to send it to
what the fuck is going on? Wait, you mean there's a book connected to the NFL blowjob thing that happened in like the
it was in 2005, yeah.
5 or 4.
Wait, the 2004 Super Bowl. You mean the one with Steelers and shit, who was it?
No, the Eagles and the Patriots for the
Patriots.
Oh, one before
Eagles
it.
lost by 3, yeah.
No, the one after that was when the Steelers cheated and fucked over the Seahawks.
Yeah, we don't talk about that on the show.
No, this is where the Patriots cheated.
It's the first Super Bowl I ever watched. And
you were a Steelers guy before, weren't you? Because that was where you landed.
No, I was never a Steelers guy. I would never pick an allegiance when at Penn State.
Okay.
You get killed for that kind of thing. Then I became a New York Giants fan, and then they won the Super Bowl. Everyone was mad. Then they became dog shit, and everyone was like, that's what you get.
It would have been so fun to be a Giants fan in the Eli era. God damn.
It was not. It was actually awful because guess what? Even in both seasons we won, nobody thought we were going anywhere.
It was really grim. My father's a big Giants fan, and it never felt good. It didn't feel good even up until like the very end. And
Eli Manning's permanent record is 0.5, right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he's the little brother of the NFL. You have to love that.
But also, you could tell that Tom Brady is going to sit there the rest of his days thinking about Eli Manning. And Eli Manning has already forgotten about Tom Brady.
Yeah, he's eating a popsicle right now and laughing. Meanwhile, Tom Brady probably just woke up in a cold sweat thinking about his face.
Yeah, he's sitting at home with a box of Juji fruits watching SpongeBob.
No, he's eating some weird like macronutrient dense thing, but it's just like 100 grams of fat, but 1 gram of sugar. Like,
to our non-NFL listeners, Eli Manning is an imbecile, and that's what makes it funny. That's the joke.
As a non-football person, can you please tell me which one of them is the one that kisses his son all the time?
That's Tom Brady.
That's Tom Brady.
He loves kissing his sons. Or his son.
That's gross. No.
I was going to say the way that you guys are talking about these two people, because I'm also not a sports person. It reminds me of that one guy that like harvests his son's blood to stay youthful.
Oh God!
You guys know about
I
that?
bet
dude?
Tom Brady's going to do that soon. I believe
Tom
that.
Brady seems like the type of motherfucker that would take his son's blood. He's already letting his like 32-year-old son sit on his lap by the pool. He is definitely going to get some of that kid's blood.
His ex-wife was like into witchcraft and all this weird shit. Google it. I'm not making this up.
But that guy looks like you bought James McAvoy off of Wish.com.
All right, let's get off of sports.
Yeah, sorry.
No, we are so
that's
totally fine. Sometimes you just have to get it out.
Wait. Really quick before we get off sports, though, I do want to say to the listeners, Western Kabuki fantasy football signups are live. The sign-up sheet is in the sports chat in the Discord, or you can DM me on Discord or Twitter, and I'll get you signed up. We've got 2 teams. We've got a free league and a paid league. We've got a couple more slots. Whack and I are both doing it. There's another.
And I'm doing both. I'm definitely doing both as well. So
yeah, same. So like, there are a lot of slots left if you want to play. We've got probably 20 something people that are in, so we might have to do a third league. So if you're listening and you want to play, just hit me up.
We can talk about this later, but I have time to organize like an online draft if we want to do like a live thing.
Yeah, we're going
over Discord or something. Yeah. I'll be able to help out.
I will, of course,
okay.
join and be automated like I did last season.
Yeah, Ed, are you joining our other Twitter league again? Because we got.
I don't know how. I don't know. I want to join. I want to join and then automate it again and be called like Jalen Carter.
Yeah, that's right. All right, we'll talk about that off air. Sorry, June and Alex.
Sorry, listeners.
Guys. Yeah, also listeners.
Pardon me.
I'm cutting the first 20 minutes of this episode.
Interesting. Censoring an immigrant job creator. Very fucking nice.
Okay, so what's the story with the fake money? How's the fake money doing?
Wait. First, Ed, congratulations on launching your podcast, 15 Minutes in Hell. We got to plug that first.
I just listened to it with Ben, friend of the show.
Yep.
Hello, Ben. No, I launched it today. It's been great. I already have several guests lined up. It's going to be very funny. I don't know. Do you want to know who? I don't give a shit.
Yeah, tell us.
We got in no particular order. It got Taylor Lorenz, got Molly
who just
White.
subscribed to the Patreon today. Thank you, Taylor.
Wow.
Oh, thank you, Taylor.
Big time in. But sorry, that sounded sarcastic. I did not mean it in that way. And as I think I told you just before this, Caleb, the menswear guy is also going to be joining.
Oh, you got him.
You got him. I didn't say this when we were texting about this before the show, but he actually he ghosted us. He didn't respond to our request. So
I hope he doesn't hear this and then cancel my.
Yeah. Well, what you need to do, Ed, if you're a true friend of mine, what you need to do is ask him why he didn't respond to us on your.
I'll do it once I have got my episode. I've got my money. What if I got
your
mine?
last question on your show with him?
Yeah. Why are you fucking over Caleb?
Yeah. Why do you? I'm not even the one who messaged him, but do it. Yeah.
No, perfect. No, my plan with him is to be like, "What do you think of my drip?" And then just when he gets confused, I'm like, what am I wearing right now? Smart guy.
You should send him a picture, the smiling man face. Just that.
Just send him a picture. Actually, no, that's a great idea. It will be showing him the smiling man.
Yeah, he needs to see it.
No, he will see it. He'll see it one way or another in his dreams. But anyway, we were asking me about that fake money crypto.
Yep.
Yeah. What's been going on? A lot, but again, too dumb to understand. Let's break this down. What's been going on lately?
So the reason you haven't seen me and a lot of people writing about this as regularly is it's got worse for them, but also more boring. So the SEC has made it very clear that they intend to. I don't know how far back you want me to go, but they are suing Coinbase and Binance. They issued them Wells notices, which are the worst letter you can possibly get as a financial institution. Means that the SEC intends to file an action against you. Then they did. Then they filed an action. Coinbase is playing a weird game where they're like, yeah, actually, we love being sued by the SEC. It's great. And the reason we love it is it's going to give us regulatory clarity. So they've been mouthing off and they filed an opposition, I believe, to the SEC. The thing is, The problem with the SEC is they are part of the government. They do not run out of money. They do not stop. They can be stopped by, like, the president. But you think Joe Biden's gonna, you think can you imagine Joe Biden talking about crypto? I'd fucking love to hear it.
I want to so bad now.
I want to hear him try and describe Dogecoin. You got a little fella there.
They need to, for like the debates, like when it's whether it's like Trump or DeSantis versus Biden, they need to ask about Dogecoin. They need to take a stand.
But the long and short of it is Coinbase kind of wants this lawsuit for the SEC to go ahead so that the SEC will basically choose how the fuck they want to deal with crypto. Right now, the SEC does not have a lot of guidance around it. And the truth is, there is guidance, but Coinbase doesn't like it, so they're hoping to get more that makes their business less illegal. Matt Levine of Bloomberg actually had a really great article several months ago where he was basically saying that all crypto exchanges are illegal. By definition of the SEC, they are illegal. They always have been. It's basically been, do you want to be the good kind of illegal, which Coinbase is, which is regulatory issues, but these can be resolved through money. Or you are like Binance, where Binance is the offshore exchange that's like 100% stolen a bunch of money. And on top of that, they have a Binance US is there. I'm also missing out several news stories. And if you email me to correct me, I will not read it. I will delete it. But the long and short
email
of it is
Alex instead. Why not?
No.
But basically, it's so annoying. That's the thing. This is why it's been less fun, because it's not like weird little nerd freaks having terrible sex. It's rich guys being mad at each other, and the SEC and Gary Gensler, he's not a beautiful fella, but he's very fine.
I feel like it's got a lot less fun to like watch as a bystander
Yes.
when all of the apes were stolen. There were no more apes to be gathered.
Yeah, there was something with the apes, but it's kind of weird now because Coinbase wants to be sued, and they have said, we think we're going to win. They have been very clear they will beat the SEC, meaning the government, in court. This is not going to happen, most likely. Most likely the SEC is going to either prevail, which would be very bad, because basically, from what I understand from people smarter than me, the SEC very rarely makes it to trial. They usually settle, and I forget what a consent order comes out of it saying, all right, we are not going to destroy you and set fire to your house, but in return, you must do, like, we have agreed with the SEC to do the following. That you saw one of these, I believe, with Binance US, where Binance US basically agreed, because Binance US was meant to be an independent organization from the main Binance thing. And like, it was like very obviously not. Like, it was very obviously controlled and financed through the where is Binance, mate? I forget if it's actually China, but nevertheless, like, the main Binance hub was very much funding it and taking money from him, which is a big legal no-no. So the SEC's consent order basically said, that's going to stop, freeze all the funds, stop fucking taking American money. You can deal in crypto for now, until we're done working out how we're going to punish you. But for now, if you don't do this, we're going to start throwing people in fucking prison right away.
God damn.
And this is Binance, who has been very much like, yeah, fuck the SEC, kiss my ass. The moment anything happened, they were like,
yeah, if I remember correctly, the guy who owns the whole Binance thing, like the not American division, isn't he like a weird, like crazy freak? Like I forget. I've like looked into this guy before. I don't know
whether he is. So he may very well be. I'm just not sure. CZ Changpeng Zhao, I believe it is. He started off very early on in crypto days building trading bots, and I actually believe early on he was the CTO of an exchange called OKX. I may be wrong on that one. But nevertheless, he's like a crypto lifer. He got rich because he got in very fucking early. He's earlier than any of these other freaks, like the Winklevosses, who are disgraceful little gnomes. Oh, that shit's funny, but also bad. Do you want to know about that?
Yes.
So, okay, there are these two identical, very moist boys called Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss. They're both brothers. They're twin brothers.
They're the Island Boys.
They're the
Yes.
they are the identical riverboat twins. And they had a program for a few years called Gemini Earn. Gemini Earn was a program that allowed you to, and I paraphrase, invest your crypto and get a return on said investment. Now, the problem was they weren't investing it at all. They were putting it in loans through a company called Genesis Digital, which is owned by another company called Digital Currency Group, which owns a bunch of other shit. Around the time that FTX fucked up, suddenly the River brothers started making oinking noises at Barry Silbert, who owns DCG, Genesis, and all that, and was saying, listen, where's the money? Because they probably worked out immediately that this money was loaned to FTX, and they were completely right. So to cover the loss from FTX, what Digital Currency Group did, which owns Genesis, was lend itself money without ever actually sending any. So, long story short, 900 million to 1.1 billion, because the number has changed several fucking times now. Gone up, it's gone down, it's very confusing. But long story short, there's about, I'm going to call it $900 million that is just gone. And the two wet boys have been spending the last few months going, Barry, you got to fix this. You got to fix it, because they don't want to admit this cash is fucking gone, man. It's gone. You're screwed. Screw you. Screw the customers. And they are also, I believe, being sued by the SEC. So,
and I gotta say, you've got some real fucking lookers here between Gary Gensler and Barry Silbert. These are some really hot guys. You guys are gonna want to check out.
They're beautiful.
Not to mention the Winklevoss twins, who, if you are not aware, you might have seen them in the Social Network movie.
I think they got very lucky with that casting.
I agree. I think everybody in that.
He may be a cannibal, but he isn't a bad-looking fella.
You know, I think Ed, the last time we had you on too, if I remember correctly, Sam what's his name? Sam Bankman-Fried. Yeah, the Bankman himself was like just arrested, and I think what was it, like 2 weeks ago, he was like let go or something, and he's like out of jail now, and like the government's just like, I don't know, what's going on with that dude?
8 people released podcasts about that fucking guy, and the thing is, they're all quite disappointed. I have a larger thought about that as well. But basically, they released him, and he can't like touch a computer. He has to live in the cage like Magneto was in that one X-Men movie. But he's basically, because he's not going to do anything, and has very clearly, he tried to, but then everyone was like, just stop, Samuel. Like his parents probably yelled at him. And but the thing is, the story's got boring now. You've got so many. I feel bad because I feel like there are a few reporters, writers, so on and so forth, who really bet their careers on how salacious this would be. And the problem is, it's not like Bernie Madoff. It's not, it was fun at first, but when you actually looked at what happened, it's now turned into a thing where the bankruptcy courts are allowing them to make a new FTX.
Yeah, which is fucking crazy.
Well, but the thing is, everyone's like, oh, they shouldn't be allowed to do it. But it's like, it's technically it's a crypto exchange, so this might become illegal in the next 10 years, but it's just by name. It's kind of like when Ty Lopez bought Radio Shack, which was extremely fucking depressing.
Yeah, I forgot. I totally forgot he did that. Like out of nowhere, like the Radio Shack social media presence became like a big meme, and it was like, oh wow. Yeah, and it was like, oh, it's just advertising crypto or like an NFT. Yeah,
but it's depressing to be the worst Gary Vaynerchuk. There's a guy who's still profiting on crypto by soft defrauding his people, right? his fans. By which I mean, he's just convinced them that poorly drawn drawings like that of a child are worthwhile investments, because I don't know, there's a certain kind of person that Gary Vaynerchuk talks to, people I assume with lead poisoning, and
I feel like they have to, yeah.
Or just people who, that's a complete tangent here, but is someone in crypto. Gary V, I think what makes him so evil is he's really tapped into a certain kind of desperation in people who have never been taught about anything to do with business. They're just people who are like, yeah, one day I'm going to have 5 businesses with 10 franchises. I don't know. They just have learned the words without really understanding any of it, which is not their fault because it's fucking annoying. But what Gary Vee has done is he's lionized just making money without ever providing anything approaching success for any of these people. And there is this very funny video of Gary Vee in a bar, and he is just yelling at these four guys going, listen, if you want to sell, if you want to make money, if you want to be a success, people say they have no money. And he just picks up the table, it's a little table, he says, just take this table, sell it on Craigslist, boom, $40, and just do it again and again. And it's like, first of all, he's definitely paid the guys to watch him, which is really cool. But also, there are people that are won over by this.
Yeah.
Extremely specious advice. Just this completely useless advice. Yeah, man, let me go fucking steal tables, you dumb piece of shit.
Well, it's what you said. It's that desperation. He sounds desperate. And so he is already speaking the language of his audience. He sounds like the car salesman from The Simpsons. Like, how many can I put you down for? A lot? Please say a lot. That's like his whole vibe. Like,
he sounds like that guy mated with Charlie Day.
Yes.
It goes back to a long history, at least in America, maybe the world, where there's like the get rich quick kind of scheme that everyone wants to get in on. And crypto is just like the perfect type of one of that right now, because it's like, oh, it's futuristic, it's digital.
Mm-hmm. It's also, crypto combines that, and I would put crypto aside from Gary Vee. He's a different kind of evil. But I think what crypto does is it does that, you're completely right, but it also combines it with a kind of religious Joel Osteen, is it Osteen? Mm-hmm. Prosperity Jesus type shit, where like those who believe will succeed, those who are worthy, and the worthy ones are the believers, of course. And
it's the whole hodl mindset.
Yes, but I don't even know if it was deliberately done this way. I don't think anyone was like, yeah, we should create a shit religion around fake money. But goddamn if they haven't got onto it. You get these people like, yeah, GM, and that's a special like crypto thing, even though other people say it. They say that. I haven't heard anyone say, "Not this guy's not going to make it" in a while, though. That was cool. Remember that? Remember, like 2 months before FTX, people being like, "Yeah, not going to make it."
Yeah. Have fun staying poor, or whatever they would say.
Have fun staying poor was the very. That's one that I would never put out there just in case I became poor.
No, there was an instance like that where there was a guy online saying stuff like that, like, oh, have fun being poor. And then like one of the crashes happened, one of the many crashes of one of the big upcoming cryptocurrencies happened. And the same dude like 2 months later was like, yeah, I have to sell the house. My wife is not going to be happy about this.
Yeah.
Like it's just like disaster type shit.
Well, that's because a lot of this money is not really liquid. If you have this money in a token and that token starts to sell off, everyone is selling off, and it's so much more sensitive than the stock market, which is already pretty sensitive to sell-offs even. Sorry, I forgot how to speak. It's a brutal thing as well, because it really has conned so many people. It's conned people who they have no other fucking wealth generation. What are you meant to do? Like, how are you meant to make enough money to buy a house now? You tell me. Oh, just save up your money for 23 years to hopefully get a down payment for a house that you will die before repaying? Yeah, of course people are going to say, oh, this funny money is actually the solution, because it's as dumb as making money on the stock market. Let's be honest. It's not like the stock market isn't a complete fucking lunatic asylum controlled by the richest, nastiest freaks. And so, yeah, and on top of that, these same people who were like, oh, this might be my way out of poverty. This might be my way out, if not poverty, out of mediocrity, out of like whatever stayed lifestyle they had. On top of that, you've got a community of people that will tell you 24/7, you are going to be rich. It's the scammers. It's the scammed becoming the scammers. that gets me. And I think it's so painful because every single person involved, anyone who could have vetoed the Super Bowl crypto ads and didn't, has probably got at least some blood on their hands.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That year, what was that? 2021, 2022?
It was 2022. Matt Damon is a scumbag. I don't care how pro-union he is.
Fortune favors the brave, baby.
Oh my God. The amount of times I saw that at like movie theaters at that time. Like
That's so
that was like
cool.
movie theater ads too, not even Super Bowl.
You know, so many people lost so much money thanks to that.
Oh my God. And yeah, there was those. I feel like that was the most common. And there was also the Larry David one, if I remember correctly, for specifically the Super Bowl.
It pains
Yes.
me to say this, but Larry David
yeah.
fucked up.
But also have you seen the commercial? He's literally like, nah, it doesn't sound like it's for me.
But that kind of shows, like, especially at that time, a lot of people were just like, I feel like they were approached by a lot of these crypto like companies or these individuals who had crypto exchanges or whatever, and they were like, they just sent like $100,000 and were like, can you be in this ad? And of course,
MoonPay.
Yeah.
Oh,
MoonPay,
sorry,
yeah,
that's
a huge one.
distinct actually.
But yeah, no, there was just so many of these celebrities that probably just didn't know anything about what crypto was. Like, who's the guy? David Lynch did like a crypto, like he did an NFT line, and
Wait,
it's like
really?
he did. Yeah, David Lynch did, and
God.
I know, and for me, like, he's so old. It was probably just like this artist or whoever came up to him and he was like, "Hey, check out this cool digital thing." And David Lynch was like, "Yeah, okay, this is cool. Do it."
How much peanut butter could I buy with it?
So it's like I feel like a lot of these people, like Matt Damon, probably knew, but like some of these older guys, like I don't know if they really knew.
Well, you remember what happened to Al Borland from Home Improvement, right? The guy who played Al from Home Improvement.
Yeah, Al did one.
He
yeah.
got involved in some crypto thing and then posted on Twitter something like, "I've decided I'm not doing crypto at this time," just with a picture of him smiling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we can't forget the smartest power couple in Hollywood, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, who were all in on everything blockchain.
Hey, quick
they
question.
really? Oh,
Have you ever heard about Ashton Kutcher's fashion company he invested in?
Fashion company? No.
I'm going to give you 3 guesses as to what this company was called. Think hard now of what possibly the worst name for a fashion company would be. Fashion startup, main like 2010s.
Fuck, I don't even know.
No clue.
You want to know what it was called?
Yes, I do.
I would love to. Yeah.
It was called fascism.
What?
No way.
I'm looking it up now so I can send you all a link.
I would have never guessed that in a million
Fascism,
years.
an online platform that enables its fashion enthusiasts to share styles and get their images rated. So, just to be clear, the company that Ashton Kutcher backed, called Fascism, allowed you to judge people based on their appearance.
What?
How long was this up? This lasted like a day, right? Like, there's no way this lasted.
2011.
2011. Sorry, they shut down in 2014.
Okay,
Oh my! It was 3 years.
How the hell did it last so long? What did it do?
How did no one dunk on this?
Dude,
how did people not find
I
out about this?
remember when it came out and people were like, "Yeah, have you heard about fascism?" And I was like, "What? Excuse me." Well, I'm Jewish. I think I know a bit about it.
I thought you were just pulling one over. I had to Google it. I can't believe this is fucking real. How did nobody stop him?
I think they need to bring they should bring fascism back.
I agree.
That would like
Flip that. Juniper said it.
Oh,
no,
I
but
think
this
America's already working on it.
June,
This website
once
would
again,
go
not
off
beating the
these
MAGA
days.
Bucks allegations.
I'll take any MAGA bucks. Donald Trump, if you wanna put some money into my pocket, you can pay the Patreon. I'll take any money that Donald Trump wants to give. Only him though.
Would you take Saudi money?
I would not take Saudi money. I only want Donald Trump money.
Okay,
Trump
cool.
bucks.
Just making sure. The Daily Mail has been calling me while I'm recording this. I want to make sure I get my facts right. My
Okay,
expose of a woke podcast.
You're gonna quote me. Fascism needs to come back.
Fascism needs to come back. The woke say that fascism needs to come back. Woke podcast laughs at fascism.
We're the breeding ground of fascism.
I'm so excited
Kabuki.
to hear the next episode of your podcast, knowing that you're going to be finally exposing us for the grifters that we are.
The Western Kabuki expose.
That's all I'm doing with the menswear guy as well. I'm just gonna be like, listen to me, man. I got to talk to you about this place. He's like, what? Excuse me. So we're gonna talk about like the fancy king of Spain.
Nope. Talking about online drama.
And I don't introduce it at all. I'm just like, you fucking hear me out. I just no open, just completely rambling.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
So I did have a question for you, Ed. Having discussed all this, and we kind of veered into a different direction. But back to the crypto thing with the new FTX, that's like government compliance. What a woke FTX. I don't know what they're going to call it. What does the future of all this look like? Like, if you, I mean, obviously, who the fuck knows? But 5 years, 10 years, what's all this going to look like? Do you think?
There are a few different futures. I think the most likely one is crypto becomes borderline illegal in this country. I think the Bitcoin survives, but I think anything adjacent to tokenization is dead as dog shit, because the SEC has made it very clear they want to consider every token a security. Now, some of the dumbest men alive, and it's always guys, are on Twitter right now describing how crypto is not actually something that goes under the Howey test, yada, yada, yada. If this happens, you might see someone quite rich who suddenly isn't quite as rich, because if your money's in, to be fair, just to be clear, everyone's probably liquidated a vast amount of their holdings by now. Anything that they need to live long futures, they've already done. But I think that they make everything but Bitcoin illegal, and Bitcoin becomes just a shitty Forex thing. I think every exchange moves offshore. I think it becomes increasingly more difficult to even interact with crypto. Like, even if you were a crypto company in America, I could see it becoming way more difficult. Possible, because I do think that Coinbase is right in the whatever comes out of this SEC action, you're going to see regulatory clarity. The problem is that they're like trying to answer the question of whether they have a penis by shooting it off with a shotgun.
I do wonder, with you having said that, I do wonder if how that will be received by the crypto guys, because some of them do have a lot of political cachet, Elon Musk being one of them. That
he's not a crypto guy.
Is he not?
He bought a bunch of Bitcoin under Tesla just to make everyone stop paying attention to the last thing he did, because it was bad. I don't even remember what it was bad. See, it worked. And
we got the Dogecoin stuff, and he even was like Dogecoin to the moon on SNL. So he's like aesthetically crypto, but not really a crypto guy.
But I'm wondering what it looks like.
He's not a bag
with
holder.
not just
nobody
Elon.
Who knows a single fucking thing about money actually has their actual real cash in anything other than cash. Okay,
Yeah.
they might have like ETFs or whatever, but what I'm getting at is these people are not like, you don't think the fucking Winklevosses have more money than they really should be allowed to, but they have so much money. So they probably have a couple billion in crypto, but they also probably have plenty in money, like in real money. Like none of these people are going to get washed out.
So how will they react at the heavy regulations that you're
They will
describing?
shit their pants.
Yes.
The moment you're already seeing, I think the Winklevosses the other day were doing armchair SEC guidance saying, well, it doesn't go through the Howey test. The Howey test is the SEC test that was used as precedence, I believe, to judge whether something was security. I think the SEC, because the SEC lost a case saying that Ripple was a security, but then a federal judge in another jurisdiction handling God, I'm going to have to explain all this, aren't I? There was a big crash that started all of this called the Terra Luna thing, with a guy called Do Kwon. And there was
like a year ago, I think, right?
Yeah, and it was the thing that broke everything. To be clear, that is the situation. It's what brought down FTX and everything. But that lawsuit goes ahead, and the federal judge said, no, I don't accept this ruling that says Ripple isn't the security. I don't accept it. I reject it. Screw you. So, and the SEC has already said that they intend to fight it, and the SEC will fight it because they are the government. They print money. That's where they keep the money, in the government. And the SEC is animated because a lot of people lost their fucking heads during crypto. But on top of that, a lot of politicians got embarrassed across the aisle. You don't you don't
Chuck Schumer.
Oh God, Chuck Schumer's gonna. I mean, but it's Republicans and Democrats.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's not just like Republicans. It's like Democrats were like, oh, crypto is the future.
That's
it's
why
like
they're
Chuck
so
Schumer.
fucked. These people don't know what. The only politician I think who is still talking about crypto being good is Ronald DeSantis.
Oh no.
And that's where that quality stuff comes from. That's where I go for the brainiest I think Vivek, what's his name? I don't remember his second name.
Ramaswamy?
Yes, there we go. And
Ramaswamy, yeah, that's what it is.
Maybe from that one. I was about to butcher that. He may be pro-crypto, but he's the one who is like, we need to end wokeness in the military. He's one of those guys. So every other politician is like, I really like this when this money was legal. I now don't like it because it's illegal. And also you embarrassed me, and my stupid nephew that I hate has called me every day saying he lost all the money on monkeys. And I don't want to talk to my nephew anymore. I don't want to talk to him. I hate him. But he needs to stop calling me. So we need to make this illegal. And also Elizabeth Warren has, honest to God, she has just made this her fucking thing. And I don't know. I know people have a lot of feelings about Elizabeth Warren, but hell yeah,
I fucking hate her ass, dog.
But you know what? If she's gonna fuck up crypto, go with God, Elizabeth. Have fun with that, because I think that would actually be a very good thing for the world if that was her legacy. Good shit. Now, some people are saying, well, by banning crypto, you're effectively stopping innovation in America. I want to be abundantly clear. Crypto's been around for over a decade. It has not innovated anything other than financial crime. And it truly has changed the game for financial crime and criminals. It has made their lives easier. It's not made them invulnerable, and they are de-anonymized all the time, and it's very funny. But that is the only real innovation. There is no disruptive software. There is no software to speak of. There is no successful game other than Axie Infinity, which has become one of the largest sweatshops in the world, specifically in the Philippines. There are people who, and it now, basically, they have loan sharks that will lend you the money to buy these like Pokemon ripoffs. And they will take a cut of the money you make playing Axie Infinity. Anyway, that is where the innovation is at.
You never heard about that? It's the game?
No.
That was the one that got hacked by North Korea.
Wait, what?
Dude,
what are you talking about?
It's hard to explain, but it's fucking insane. Who invested?
Alexis fucking Ohanian. Reddit CEO.
Reddit moment.
Founder.
Oh my god.
Okay, will you give us a rundown on that really quick, Ed? Just
Absolutely.
I need to know about this. I need to know what North Korea did.
This is one of the most insane moments in crypto history.
How did I miss this shit?
So, Axie Infinity is a game. It's a Pokemon ripoff where you need to pay like $300 to $1,000 to buy into a scam. I mean, to buy a Pokemon for like 3 eggs that you must hatch. They're not called Pokemon. Actually, it's nothing like Pokemon. It's more like a really shit Final Fantasy game. So you play this and you're paying Ethereum the whole fucking time. It's very embarrassing. Anyone involved should be ashamed of themselves. And you're doing this piece of shit game that sucks. Then what happened was, oh boy, this is a messy technical explanation. But the way this decentralized game works was there are 9 oracles, and these oracles say if you could get a consensus of, I think, 5 of them, you could do anything to the game. So a hacker successfully, and I forget how they did it, I forget the exact way they did it, but a hacker successfully took control of 5 of them and effectively said, okay, send all the money from the game to me. And it was fine. It was actually not
Totally legal.
This was
And-
built into the game. There was
well, it wasn't built into the game so much as it was the smart contract. And it was just
okay.
So yeah, sorry, I should probably explain that. That made it sound more sensible than it was. So, long story short, a smart contract is how you play a game on crypto. It's a thing you send Ethereum to, so money, just to be clear, to like do stuff. So in this game, you would probably have to pay like 1/10 of a cent to whatever. God, this is so annoying. Every time I think about this stuff, I just get so annoyed because, sorry, they had a side chain as well, so that it only costed like 1/10 of a cent to interact with your shit little Pokemon clone. But basically,
but the long and short of it is like a smart contract basically converts the transaction into the gamified version of the transaction within the game.
Yes, and there was another one on their own side chain, but nevertheless, so basically, it's the equivalent of them taking hostage 5 members of the Supreme Court and having them vote in whatever way they saw fit.
Wait, so these oracles, were they like real people?
They're smart contracts.
Okay. Oh, I see. I got it now. Okay.
Yeah, it's so fucking dumb. It's so
And was this hacker
stupid.
North Korean? What's the North Korean aspect of it?
I believe they were working for North Korea.
That's amazing. So North Korea just got all of this money from this crypto game.
Common DPRK win.
Congratulations, crypto. You have literally
did it.
given money to North Korea. Congratulations, Alexis Ohanian, for directly funding, indirectly. Let's be fair.
Comrade Alexis.
Yeah. And to be clear, like a few months before all this happened, he went on a big rant about how good Axie Infinity was and how it allowed people to own parts of the game. It's so good.
Love that guy.
I met Alexis like 10, 11 years ago, and he's always been a lovely fella. I wish better for him. Just the interactions I've had with him, he's been nothing but pleasant. He seemed like to have the right like he's generally had the right kind of politics. But then he also let Reddit become the biggest racist website until Elon took over Twitter. And then like and then now it's like Reddit private equity. And Alexis was like, yeah, I'm fucking done like a few years ago. Just absolutely no ramifications for what happened there.
That's insane. So we don't have to go too much into it, but I'm just curious, what was the actual game? Because like there was a period where specifically when NFTs became like the big thing, where people were talking like, it's crypto and NFTs are going to be implemented into games everywhere. It's going to become a whole thing. Like crypto is the future of gaming. So what like was this game even?
Well, Axie Infinity?
Yeah.
It was like a shit Pokemon game.
So literally, would you play against like other people?
Yes, but also to be clear, to get into this, you literally had to buy in with Ethereum.
This was not like a normal game, June. This was a scam front to bottom. Like
no, it was a game with like health points and such, but like and everything. I looked in the forum, and apart from everyone being very angry and justifiably so at the fact that like the game wasn't making them any money anymore. It's a real game, but when you looked a little bit under the hood, there were lots of people being like, this just seems completely randomized. And it was. And deeply unfair. And like there's thousands of people playing it in the Philippines who used to play it for money. It used to be their income.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like it's not like if you're playing like, I don't know, Call of Duty or whatever bullshit. Like it's like an actual game where you can buy like an NFT collectible or something.
Yeah.
It's not like that. This is like it's a game that's truly based around NFT and crypto and stuff. Like this is a completely different thing.
It's an ATM. It's an ATM more than it is a video game.
To be clear, the Pokemon were NFTs.
You would literally never play this game for enjoyment.
Yeah, no, it doesn't sound like it. From what it sounds like now, all the people that were making a living off this had to go back to RuneScape, grinding, get the GP, go back to the exchange.
What's really funny though is that when crypto was at its height, watching like crypto bros desperately like eating shit, being like, "This game's so good." I love playing Axie Infinity. I love this slow, plodding Final Fantasy Pokemon thing. I fucking and they were like, yeah, this is the future. And it's like, fuck you, it's the future. God damn it, you lying sacks of shit. Like, what are you talking about? Not the future of anything, you toss.
It's the future of gaming. It's the future of animation. Which reminds me, did you guys ever see the Bored Apes animated series?
Yes.
Oh, I saw the
Whatever
commercial.
happened? Did they make? Yeah, did they finish it? Did they actually?
I think they lost the rights. I think somebody got their apes hacked and they couldn't make the TV show.
Oh, was this the
What happened?
Seth?
Oh,
what's his
hell
name
yeah.
thing?
I
The,
think that's what
Seth
happened.
Green got his
Yeah.
ape stolen, and they couldn't make the show.
I can't tell if you guys are being serious or if
I
you're joking.
swear to you,
No, that's what
this
happened.
is as real as shit.
Yeah.
They couldn't just make a new ape. What? Wait.
That is what
I'm happy
NFTs
to
are.
explain if you'd like.
You own
please
the
do.
rights. You own the rights to the image, so that's what an NFT is. So if you own the NFT,
Actually, not true. Specifically
really?
with Bored Apes, they sacrificed the IP rights to the Bored Apes when they started selling them. They made it part of, I believe, the smart contract. Generally, like a fun thing. So Seth Green was doing a show about his ape that I don't know. I don't like saying the sentence. I don't like thinking about it. But he then was like, "Oh, someone scammed me out of my ape, and now I legally don't own the rights to the show." And he did. I don't even know how this fucking ended. Like I never looked because it was funny enough, but not funny enough to follow.
People are so fucking stupid.
But yeah, so he lost the rights because the IP rights were carried by the NFT. And I'm sure the TV studio was like, no, I Googled this shit. Fuck you. I want to call this guy. No, I don't think that. I think they were just like, well, we can't. You don't own the rights to this, and we are not putting that on television. We already didn't want to. So this is actually this is great for us.
That's the craziest shit I've ever heard in my fucking life. So even though he was the victim of a financial crime or just being a fucking imbecile, like they couldn't argue that he had it stolen and they didn't want to make it still. Like I don't understand that at all.
We'll have
If
to
you
do
need to drive your car in a race, but someone steals your car, how are you driving?
we'll
Now
have to
it's
do a
their
deep
race.
What are you
dive
going to
in
do? Download a
the Bored
JPEG
Apes
of the
animated.
car?
Oh, by the way, Seth Green did get his ape back, but I do not know the current
moment
status of
passed.
the show.
I think that moment like passed quickly. It was like Paris Hilton went on Jimmy Fallon and talked about her ape. They put that shit in production.
Jesus
It got
Christ.
stolen.
Jimmy Fallon is such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I just briefly, some of our listeners may or may not know, I used to work at Spotify. I quit, and then within about a year, they laid off pretty much everybody I worked with. There was an article in Semaphore. It was like an expose about what happened to the podcast division at Spotify. And my boss's boss was a woman named Dawn Ostroff, who previously I think was an executive at Viacom. Like she's old media and she's been around forever. She was in charge of all the podcasts. And one of the details buried deep within this article at Semaphore about what happened to the podcast division at Spotify, why they laid everybody off, was that she both owned one or several Bored Apes and was really bullish on them making a Bored Apes podcast and was constantly trying to get the company to make a Bored Apes podcast.
Good job. Really good call. That was a great idea.
Did you see any of the Bored Apes videos? They did actually a little bit of a cartoon.
No.
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. I've seen that.
Did they
And
make
it was
a
a whole
Bored Ape
thing.
music video with Snoop Dogg too or something? Like they were trying
yeah.
so hard.
But the
That's
Bored Ape
really
thing was
not
great.
good.
It was the Dookie Dash video. Do you remember Dookie Dash? Anyone?
Yes, I do remember Dookie,
Dookie
Dash.
Dash?
I
That
do
was-
not. So fill me in on Dookie Dash.
You hear about this Dookie Dash? Hey, how do you see? So, Dookie Dash was a wonderful creation of Yuga Labs, who makes the Bored Apes. Sorry, my cat is making weird noises. Thank you. So it was a game. They were like, we're making a game with the Bored Apes, and everyone was very excited. All the crypto guys were galvanized, and they're like, haha, fuck yeah, this is it. This is our Final Fantasy moment. What Dookie Dash ended up being was a Newgrounds-esque Like it was like that game Tempest, if you remember. You had to like move this.
Tempest, yeah.
You have to move this monkey along this tube, and the monkey would be whatever board ape you connected to it, and you have to move him on this
Flash
tube.
game, a 2002
effectively.
Flash game.
So they did a really shit video that was kind of reminiscent of the. You remember Gorillas? The Gorillas type videos.
Like the band.
And they told a story in them. And Katie Natopoulos and I had a long conversation about this because we were trying to work out what the story was because it was not clear from anything they were saying. But basically, apparently one of them did a poo so bad, the monkeys I'm talking about, they did a poo so bad it opened up a portal to another world, which someone came out of the portal and handed them a key for some reason. And that key was meant to open a sewer, I think. Well, no, the sewer is just, I got ahead of myself. The key, it was not obvious what the key did. But what happened was Jimmy the monkey, the same one that shit the key out, for some reason, after they had a party, because the bored apes love to drink, because drinking is cool, the monkey then for some reason, the key got put in his beer. It's not obvious why. And then the monkey
shit. Is in his beer. Did he drink the beer?
No, in the beer. He drank the beer
Disgusting.
with the key inside it. Why they had the key at a party, I'm not sure. The bored apes, fucking stupid, I guess. I don't know. But what happened then was he then went to the toilet. He then went to the toilet and shit the key into the sewer, thus beginning the Dookie Dash to retrieve said key.
Got it. Okay. I have clarity now.
This makes me sad.
Knowing how like racist those guys are and everything, and then the whole Nazi thing, it really does bring of like what is that singer? Is it David Allan Coe? Yes, it is. He's got some real bangers, David Allan Coe, that are just so racist they don't make sense.
It's a new kind of racism. We've never seen it before.
Yeah, like Leroy the Big Lipped N-word, to the tune of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, for example.
Oh my God.
So that's what it makes me think of, is like they're trying to make the monkeys seem so dumb, and knowing that the monkeys was like a whole racist thing to begin with. I think there's like an element. Also, it's definitely written by AI, but I think there is an element of like trying to make the monkeys look stupid in a racist way.
I totally forgot. Now that you mention it, that whole like Nazi racist story came out about the Bored Apes organization, and I feel like it just like passed. Like,
they basically said it's not true, and then everyone's like, "Well, it obviously is," and then nothing happened because they're backed by Andreesen Horowitz, and then they were like, "Mark Andreesen was like, I don't care, Vanessa." Like, I'm suggesting he's the kingpin from Netflix's Daredevil, but he just doesn't give a shit. Like he's like, "Oh, well, that sounds like wokeness to me," and like
someone needs to outline. Maybe we can do this in some way. Outline the history of the Bored Ape.
That's a future project. I think I was deciding that we should do that while we were talking about this. I think we need a little bit more research and clarity to make this happen. But I think there
are some people who have done great work on this already too.
But that's the problem, though. The reason no one wants to do the work on this is because when you start doing it, it's really depressing. And also, what comes out the other end?
A key.
Like what? I see. I see what you did. That's a nice little callback. But in all seriousness, it's like, okay, we know the Bored Apes suck. Fast Company actually had a really good print story about the Bored Apes, where they were calling them what they were. They were just kind of like quite pleasantly, without really critiquing, just kind of let them fall on their own sword repeatedly, again and again, just be like saying like stupid things about what they did and what they believed, because it's so obvious that this isn't the future and it never was. Anyone who thought the Bored Apes were going to be the next big IP, you're just fucking stupid. You're just fucking dumb. I'm sorry, that's really it. It's not like, oh, you are lying to yourself if you think this is ever true. First of all, point number one, they look like shit. They look fucking stupid. They don't look cool. They look bad. They look like shit. So that's your
just
first
pure garbage.
And also, that artwork, by the way, the person in question definitely didn't get rich off of this. They got fucked over because that's how crypto works. Number 2, they're monkeys in shirt. Like, what the fuck are you meant to do with that? They don't have stories because their entire thing is looking weird and being connected to
And half of them look
losers
like
who live
they
in
just
Miami.
dunk their head in like the Fukushima fucking reactor water or something. You know
Yeah,
what
they
I
have
mean?
like tentacle brains and stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's,
which is always
what
really
it is
upsetting.
a mixture of flagrant liars and people who are desperate, people who thought that this would be like owning a Monet. Like, is it Monet?
Yeah.
Is that an
Or
artist?
at least this will be how I can fucking
so stupid.
sell to buy a house or something, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is going to, like I said earlier, this is their way out of mediocrity.
Yeah.
And so they have an almost religious affiliation with it. But my God, eating shit about that must have been exhausting.
Hey, that's it for the main feed episode. You can find Ed on Substack at easy.substack.com, or you can listen to his new podcast, 15 Minutes in Hell, wherever you find podcasts. You can also hear more of him on our Patreon episode this week, patreon.com/westernkabuki. We also answer some questions from our listeners. Also, Whack has started a YouTube channel. He just put out his first video. You can find it on YouTube at Whack Nicholson. All right, see you behind the paywall and see the rest of you next week.